Alright, hey, so a lot of people seem to be going to PC, and I figured I'd give you a little bit of a hack that lets you kind of auto-update. One of the major headaches is that if you're on a PC, you end up having to update your drivers and your apps and whatnot kind of on, on your own. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a thing that tries to automate some of that for you if you want to try it out. So this will cover sort of an AMD machine, and it'll cover so AMD graphics and an Nvidia. So for almost everything, one works. Nvidia is a little bit different. So one way you get pretty much everything if you're an AMD GPU enabled box, then you can pretty much just run this one command at whenever you want, however often you want to, or if you happen to have an Nvidia, I'll give you the additional command you need to run to update those drivers as well. So essentially, what I did is I created a PowerShell file that runs a couple of commands, and those commands are here. So you have winget, which is kind of a built-in feature in Windows, and you just run upgrade. And I'll show you what these parameters do, just so you can kind of see what the so you just bring up PowerShell, and then so we'll just run winget, and it sort of just tells you what all these things are. But since we're doing an upgrade, I'll kind of do winget upgrade. All right, so there we go. So all right, and the dash, I have dash H here, which just makes it so that it doesn't, show you a lot of stuff as it's doing the updates. The dash R, which is to do all of them, right? So I'll go down there, just recurse. So do all of the packages that are available. Disable interactivity essentially just tells it don't ask for anything, just go do it, right? So just disable any prompts that come up, just go do it. And then if there are any warnings, don't bother to stop, so it'll just keep going, right? So ignore the warnings and keep going, right? So that's essentially what I do, and that basically updates most of your packages for you. This will include most of the drivers and stuff like that for you. So you just kick that off, and it'll go do that. You need to run that in an administrative PowerShell. So when I brought up PowerShell before, PowerShell, you have the option to run that with an administrator option. So you'd want to do that, and it'll come up with a prompt that you probably aren't seeing that says, are you sure you want to do this? Say yes, and now you'll notice that the window, it has administrator and then Windows PowerShell. That allows it to run tasks that'll make system level changes. So when you're upgrading drivers, for instance, you'll need to have that level. So either way, so that's cool. So that takes care of that piece. And then when you have Nvidia, unfortunately, Nvidia's drivers are not included in winget, so you have to do something a little different. And there we're going to use a thing called Chocolatey. So that's what this thing is. So I'll show you what that is. We basically we go to this website, which if I can get rid of this little bar here. Yeah, there we go. So you go to chocolatey.org, which it's freeware for those who aren't a commercial customer, right? So if you are doing commercial work, then you do have to pay for it. But if it's just individual, you're allowed to use this, free of charge. So you basically need to come down here to do the install. You want to again be an administrative shell for PowerShell. And you're basically going to run what they have here. They have a little copy link conveniently. So you just click copy, and then you go to your administrative PowerShell, and then you can paste it in. So you click over here, and then edit paste, and there it is. And you just hit enter, and it'll go install Chocolatey for you if you don't already have it. So once you have that, you can then run that second command, which basically will go and find the latest driver for Nvidia and install it for you, right? And then the next time it'll check and say, hey, you already have the latest driver, so I'm going to skip it. So it installed whatever, so it's all set. So then we can close that, whatever, we're done there. So then what I do is once that script is written, I put it in my C drive. I created a folder called scripts, and I just created a file named runupdates.ps1. PS1 is a PowerShell script, so you have to name it that. So if you want to create a new file, so let's say you create a text document, you would have to enable the ability to see extensions. But so I'll call this, let's say, test script .ps1 and then delete the .txt. It's going to ask me, are you sure you want to do that? Change the extension. Yes. If you can't see the extensions, you're going to have to change some of those properties. So if you go here, you have the option to say hide extensions for known file types. You might have that checked. You'll want to uncheck that, and that way you can change that extension. So anyway, so once you have your file, you can either just run it, that's fine, right? But the other thing you can do is you open up your task scheduler. So again, you can go to start, type in task scheduler, and it comes up. You can bring up task scheduler, and then add in a new scheduled task that just runs whenever you want. So for me, on my gaming PC, I turn it off and then turn it on when I want to use it. So what I did is I created a task and said, all right, I'm gonna call this run my updates, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. And then down here, you want to do it as you logged in. Again, this is your choice. If you leave it on and you're not logged in, you can do it the other way. But you need to check this box, run with highest privileges, because that's the way it's going to be able to do that same administrative mode and be able to update drivers. I usually put this to the highest level, so that's Windows 10, but it doesn't necessarily matter. The trigger is up to you. So by default, this can be a schedule thing. What I did is instead at logon, so whenever I log into my gaming rig, it'll kick this off, right? That's one way to go. This is all on what makes sense for you. If you want to do it on a schedule, run it every day, run it a couple of days a week, whatever you want to do, you choose whatever makes sense, and it can then just kick it off for you, right? But for me, I did it at logon. That's how I've kicked it off. So I say okay, it now has that in there as the trigger. I go to actions, I'll create a new action, and we're going to start a program, which is to kick off that script. And the way you do that is you say PowerShell.exe, and then the argument is the path to that script. So C drive, for me, it's C drive scripts run updates.ps1, right? So, and that's it. That's all I need to do. Now, if you have any spaces in these, like the folder name or the name of this, unfortunately, you'll have to put that in quotes, because if you don't, it'll mess it up. So I'd recommend just don't have spaces. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah, just in case you do have spaces in the name, if you have like my script files or something like that, and there are spaces there, you're gonna have to put quotes around it. But anyway, so say okay. You've now got your program. You shouldn't really need to change any of the other things here, but in case it makes sense for you, you can go ahead and work with this. If it's a laptop, maybe the AC thing matters, right? The battery power. Otherwise, it probably won't. And then I don't necessarily think you'll need to muck with this either. The defaults here are probably fine. Again, if you feel like you are comfortable making changes here, go ahead. So say okay, and that's it. Basically, you now have this new run my updates available, and it will kick off every time you log into your computer. And if you have those two types, the Nvidia and everything else, you need both of those lines. I'll put them up again. And this is the thing you need to do when it comes to Nvidia. It's chocolatey, so Choco, upgrade Nvidia display driver, and then the -y here it's essentially the same thing with the disable interactivity. It just does any yeses for you, so you don't have to worry about it prompting, hey, do you want to continue or anything. It'll just do it for you. So that was basically it. Just wanted to kind of give you a nice little hack that can automatically update most of the stuff that your PC will need to update. Winget will get most of it. Unfortunately, it does not get the Nvidia driver. You just need to add that line. So you need to install Chocolatey and add that line. So yeah, just in case that's of use to you, hopefully this was useful for somebody out there if they're trying to make this a little more seamless for their PC experience. Have fun.
Hey there, I wrote a book and I'd love for you to check it out. If you want to check out my book, you can go to the link that's in this, right here, shop.china.us. and it will direct you towards the book's page in your country in Amazon, so you can go check it out there. And yeah, I'd love to see if you're interested, and let me know in the comments if you liked it. Better yet, leave a review on Amazon if you liked it, and enjoy the book. Thanks.